We will reload in the same manner as the first person shot. Creating a camera, create camera. Let's make it bigger so we can see it better. We turn it 180 degrees on the yoke. Put it somewhere in front of your face a little bit. Tyro is in the cups so you can see what's going on in the camera. Use the middle mouse button to drag it somewhere like this. We put this camera at about eye level, and we can attach this camera to the head. Constrain parent. Yeah, something's already happening. Next, we can hide the head here too. She probably doesn't need it, but the controller needs her. So I'll hide its geometry. Yes, I'll turn my head less. We have cameras, and so I'll also create this external environment with the help of which it will be possible to see what's going on. I'll give 10 on 0, how many 200 controllers all grouped somewhere there we shift. You can duplicate it and put it up again. Will parallax like be visible? Well, that's funny. Yes. Okay, here we go. The first thing one wants to work on is the head, aka the camera. Here now he's turning his head very much sideways. I think he's taking his head away from the gun. It doesn't look very favorable, so I'm toning down the effect. You can tilt it a little less sideways. Somehow he got too excited. Next thing you know, he picks his head up very quickly, too soon. Withdrawn, we should definitely show that recharge here. So I'm adjusting the animation. I keep my head in the same place. The option here is to either tilt your head more or raise your arm higher. Now we'll decide what looks best. By Gamek, these walks seem a bit strong to me. They were for when he was supposedly reaching for ammo and looking where he needed to go. Small values, it seems to me, would be enough here. Also by rotate task, I'm turning things down a bit. Here you go. What do we do with the arm? She's not getting like in our cell right now. Or you'd have to tilt your head really hard. I can take those two hands and add them to the animation layer. Put keys at the beginning and end of this animation layer to capture what's going on. And this is where just those hands go higher, maybe a little farther away. Somewhere like this. We have a key. We duplicate it through a Twee machine to keep it longer. So here he is when he reloads. Maybe around here somewhere. You might even get a smoother ride up here. In a hurry to get it out. You could even tighten up those translate Ys on both arms a little more.
Yes.
Something like that. I also somehow got them very centered. It's probably the camera in general, yes, more on the center. I think we can move it over here a little bit. And maybe a little lower. Or even tilt it a bit to try. No, she has to look straight. Lower it a little bit. And this parent constraint is updated.
Check.
And maybe I did go a little overboard with the lifting somewhere. Here this layer will just turn down a little bit if you're overdoing it.
Yes.
There's also moments where he puts the clip in, you can't really see that much. I might try playing around with that layer some more on these hands. Right here, for example, to reinforce it, it can be keyed. So we can regulate more additionally. It could be lower here. Let's get it up here. This is raising and lowering your arms to the side to get more into the camera. Afterward. That weight's gonna go away at some point.
Yes. Now, it's fine.
We can raise our weapons sooner. With this weight to reinforce this layer. Reload it and here it comes back.
Yes.
There was no further movement in my mind. We can leaven it up a little more here. Up, down. More about the head. We can amplify the effect of this reload by micro-drawing. We can jerk our heads around when he pulls out a clip, for example. Boom. And it can rock a little bit. Somewhere just a little bit.
Check.
Yeah, it looks good. And here, when he taboos him, it's going to be here somewhere. We can create that little twitch in our heads, too.
Check.
You could even go a little sharper. Yeah, this head turn here, when he's reaching for the bullets, you could make it a little bit sharper.
And maybe harder.
It'll be a little bit harder to get back in here. Yeah, to make it float a little less. And then I guess it's just a matter of taste. If it seems that the Z-slope is too strong here, you can continue to reduce it a little more too. Here you go. But in general, if the basic animation is ready already on the controllers here, it's a lot easier to keep working. You don't have to make it too hard on yourself somehow. I think this animation would be a hell of a lot harder if there were two hands out of the rig. Now that would be very difficult, but this has to be solved by additional strapping. Do an Ad Van Latona rig with the same long arms, set pelvis, head, neck. And all this will be animated much faster and much more natural. Yes, there's a moment here it's time to 32x. On I think the head can be a little bit more life, we'll add some life. I'll tell you where here something can sometimes jump through. Now let's see. Yes, some small twitches when he turns his head to the side so that it goes through a little bit of lowering the head. We held it?
Yes.
A little bit of that. In general, when we talk about first-person animation, the camera plays a very important role too, actually, and it still needs to be animated too. So yeah, we keep that in mind. So a little bit of that is all. Two groups could be raised a little bit. Yeah, that's right. If not enough, or you can still add a plane that will show the ground. Also might look good for some understanding of dimensions. As far as how much I tilt my head away, for example, there's the option that I might be tilting too much and the location won't be visible. Then you can turn down the camera and raise your arms more. I like it that way. So yeah, that's it. That's all I need from you. Here's a first-person rewatch. See you later. Bye-bye.